Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be driving my Model 3 using hardware 3 running FSD 12.6.4, and we're going to be entering the highway and drive on some main streets. So it enters the highway. If you guys have been watching the channel, and if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to, I'm paying attention. The interior camera is so sensitive. I don't know why all of a sudden. But if you guys have been watching the channel, I post videos like this one all the time. I cover, highway drives, I cover local drives, and I cover auto park and a lot of other stuff when it comes to Tesla's FSD and honestly kind of just like the EV experience. So if you guys are looking to get a Tesla, or you guys maybe already bought a Tesla and you guys are waiting to get it and want to know a little bit more about the experience of owning one, be sure to like and subscribe, because I kind of talk about it, my 1-year ownership of this vehicle. And we get a lot of diverse opinions in the comments below. A lot of people are saying they feel really bad that we own, or I own a Tesla, I guess. And I don't know, I don't really see it as like, electric cars or gas cars, like it's like a battle between them. I see it as if it works for you, if it's cost effective, if it solves a problem that you might be facing, then maybe an electric car works. But if it doesn't solve a problem and a gas car solves that problem, then a gas car works for you. I don't see it as you need to like never buy a gas car, only buy an electric car. I feel like a lot of people think it's like that. And I feel like a lot of people that own an electric car, even though they have an electric car, they see the use case of a gas car. Like personally, I have both. Like I have an electric car and I have gas cars. So like I would use gas cars for road trips, electric cars mainly for the city, since it's the regen and the cost of electricity is very cheap here in Toronto. So it just makes sense to be driving an electric car in Toronto personally. But when you go more up north and stuff, like superchargers and third-party chargers are a lot more scattered, and maybe some third-party chargers are not as reliable as superchargers. So it just makes more sense. It just gives you ease of it gives you an easy mind when driving on a road trip with a gas car, because you just know you're in good hands with a gas car. Just a predictable, reliable experience when it comes to road trips. And I don't think en routes even have chargers. I don't think I've really seen them there whenever I road trip. It's mainly just gas. So yeah, we just get all the way to the left lane here. That was quick. We're getting around all this slow traffic, and then we're gonna cut all the way over. Standard mode is this is standard mode. That's why I usually stay in chill, because it kind of just stays in one lane. Standard mode and hurry could be like lane splitting like crazy. So it just gets over. It's really smooth. It sees like it shows the camera there's like no cars coming. And it's just really, 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 really safe and reliable here. Saying to pay attention, my eyes are wide open looking in front. I don't know why it's so sensitive. I guess I need to get like a different camera or something, because it's getting more sensitive now, and I don't know why. Maybe my camera is like blocking my eyes, even though I have good visibility with the interior camera. It's annoying, but we're coming off on the off-ramp over here. We're gonna make a right at this light. It failed a few videos, in the past videos, it failed this turn a few days ago. But a lot of you guys were saying to just let it kind of get into a much more dangerous situation. And I'm not really a fan of that. I like to intervene a lot earlier than maybe maybe the car could have figured it out. Like maybe, if it really gets into that situation, it'll figure it out, or it'll stop or whatever. It's just, I don't want to be in that situation at all. There's no cars in this lane. We're good. So look, it did that very well. There was no cars in the lane. The cars were still way behind me here. And it did that nicely. And now we're coming to a stop here. And it's very smooth. The experience has always been really smooth. if you guys want to know more about like FSD, you just check out a lot of the videos I post. I talk about like all the kinds of experiences: highway driving, city driving, you know, suburb driving, you know. I cover a lot of it, and you could see like Hardware 3 really being tested out in like a lot of different environments and circumstances. Downtown is a disaster. I feel like we've all come to the consensus that when things are very complicated, Hardware 3 struggles. I guess it just doesn't have like the computing power or whatever to really process everything fast enough to be able to make a good like prediction of what to do. I'm not really, you know, that knowledgeable in how the system actually works, like technically. So if you guys, you know, have an idea of like how and why Hardware 3 is a lot less capable of Hardware 4, I assume it's just like processing power or something. Like it just can't process a lot of the information fast enough or something. Or maybe it's like parameters or whatever. Like I don't know how that training really works. If you guys know more about that, just comment down below. It would be cool to read about how much Hardware 3 differs from the newer hardware, and why, I guess. And it it's like figuring out which lane it needs to be in there, you know, going really slow, really nice. This truck is trying to get into here. It doesn't see us. That's crazy. It's like really fighting to get into this lane. That's scary. Also, if you guys check out some of the links in the description, it'll help support the channel, which is nice. I know a lot of you guys are complaining about the steering wheel. I know the steering wheel, it bothers me, but you know, I feel like it costs a lot to change it, and I don't really know a cheaper way to really fix it. Like I don't know if you could like, you know, fix this material. I think you just have to replace the steering wheel. And I've been seeing online it's like $400 for another steering wheel, and I'm like, I don't know about that. $400 is a lot for just cosmetic wear and tear or whatever. I wonder if I should get like maybe the yoke. I don't know if a lot of you guys are interested in seeing the yoke, you know, maybe how to install it, or maybe, you know, in these kinds of videos, like seeing the yoke. I don't know. I feel like the yoke is still pretty controversial. I obviously think the steering wheel is better, more practical, and just like, you know, if it isn't broke, you know, don't fix it. I'm a firm believer of that. But yoke is pretty cool though, you know. Like I'm not getting a yoke in all my cars. I'm just gonna get a yoke in this, you know. That'd be pretty cool. But you know, if you guys don't like to see that, I guess maybe I'll probably just get another steering wheel, you know. Steering wheels are safe and reliable. The yoke, who knows, maybe I won't even like it if I put it on, and then I would have to get a whole new steering wheel. I don't know. I think I would just need to drive a Tesla like with it or something. Maybe I'll see about that. But yeah, we're getting through a light here, this green. And we're stopped in the middle of the intersection, which, you know, isn't good, but I guess like you couldn't tell that the cars were coming to a stop. And we're still centered in the lane. It's still following the rules of the road, and it's doing this very safely. And why is that truck parked in the bike lane? That's crazy. I guess some people just don't care, or maybe it's just easier for him to deliver, but I don't think it's a good idea to park like that, because, like, you know, the people that are riding the bikes are gonna have a less safe time on the road now, because they would have to get into, like, you know, the car lane and stuff. Very smooth, very nice coming behind this Honda. Just no real complaints. Like, FSD is good at this, and with version 14 Lite, I've been seeing it get like different names too. It's like version 13 Lite or something. I don't know. This is the month where it's supposed to come out, so I really hope it does come out, because I really do want to try it. I've been seeing some of the features are like, you know, it could park when you get to the destination, which is really cool. So I don't know. If you guys know more about the features, like, comment down below. Like, you know, talk about what version 14 Lite. This truck is so loud, holy. I wonder if you guys can hear this truck. Even with the windows up, it's still freaking loud. we're still centered, still following nicely. And it's just like, you know, if after a long stressful day, you know, it's just really nice to be driving this, or driving like this. You're just waiting at this red light. And yeah, if you guys are coming back from like a stressful day at work or something, like FSD could really help making your trip a lot easier. And I saw a lot of older folks in the comments. They were saying that FSD helped them drive again because, you know, it takes a lot of the stress off them, and it makes them feel a lot safer in the car knowing that there's a system helping them drive, you know, which is really nice to hear. You know, everybody just wants to get somewhere, you know, do stuff, especially the older folks. So it's really nice to read some of those comments. So yeah, let me know your guys' opinion. Let me know what you guys think. You know, tell me what you guys want to see, and like and subscribe. Check out a lot of the videos I post. A lot of the videos cover Teslas, EVs, and FSD. Check out some of the links in the description. We're getting to a merge over here, but it is heavily congested. I won't bore you with this lame traffic. A lot of you guys have been saying you guys want to see a lot more tougher situations. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and peace.